You're watching TAG TV.
Hello viewers, I'm your host Uzma Jafri with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin today's show with Bangladesh, where in a historic judgment, Tariq Rahman, the son of former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, was sentenced to life imprisonment in 2004 grenade attack which killed 24 persons and injured hundreds of others, including the then opposition leader and current Premier Sheikh Hasina. A large number of people, however, are not satisfied with the judgment and are demanding death penalty to Tariq Rahman. A report.
Calling the court's verdict unfair, a large number of protesters took to the streets of Dhaka, demanding death penalty to Tariq Rahman, the former Bangladeshi Premier's fugitive son, who was convicted in the 2004 grenade attack that killed 24 people and injured nearly 500. Dhaka's fast-track tribunal pronounced Rahman to be taken to prison for life after it found that a section of the then Bangladesh Nationalist Party-led government hatched the sinister plot and sponsored the attackers. The prime objective of the attack, which rocked the Awami League rally on 21st August 2004, was to eliminate Sheikh Hasina. The court gave the death penalty to 19 people, several of them BNP leaders, including former Junior Home Minister Lutfuzzaman Babar, for the assassination plot. While some believe that it is a landmark judgment, others are enraged over the fact that Rahman was not given the death penalty.
19 জন আসামিকে ফাঁসি দেওয়া হয়েছে এবং 19 জন তারেক রহমান সহ অন্যান্য আসামি 19 জনকে যাবজ্জীবন দণ্ডে দণ্ডিত করা হয়েছে বাকি আসামিদেরকে বিভিন্ন মেয়াদে শাস্তি দেওয়া হয়েছে
Rahman, who was tried in absentia all along the course of the law, was charged with criminal conspiracy and multiple counts of murder over the attack. He currently leads the main opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP from exile after Zia was jailed in February for 5 years.
আমার ছেলে তারেক রহমানকে লন্ডন থেকে আনতে হবে, এনে এই মামলার রায় কার্যকর করতে হবে। একটা লোককে ছাড় দেওয়া যাবে না, এদের মৃত্যুদণ্ডে দণ্ডিত করতে হবে, ফাঁসির রশিদে ঝুলিয়ে এদের হত্যা করতে হবে।
Earlier, amid a tight security, as many as 19 people were convicted in the 2004 grenade attack. It comes as a major blow to the opposition party of Bangladesh as elections are just weeks away. Earlier in February, the court had found Khaleda Zia guilty of embezzling money meant for an orphanage and sentenced her to 5 years in jail.
There was no immediate reaction from the BNP, but party leaders have earlier condemned the case, saying it was politically motivated and designed to keep its leaders out of the next polls. Moving on to Pakistan, where fear is a daily reality for minorities. Whether it's Ahmadis, Christians or Hindus, they all live under a constant shadow of fear owing to a prevalent societal as well as state-sponsored persecution. Asia Bibi is one such victim of Pakistan's oppressive design devised years back by the name of blasphemy law to subjugate minorities. She was framed under the charges of disrespecting Muhammad by fundamentalists who have essentially been trying to make Pakistani society more radical. However, international pressure of late has forced Pakistan judiciary to carry out a fair trial in the case. A report.
Asia Bibi, a mother of 4, in 2010 became the first woman to be sentenced to death under Pakistan's draconian blasphemy law. Bibi was sentenced to death for allegedly making derogatory remarks about Islam after neighbors objected her drinking water from their glass because she was not Muslim. She appealed to the Supreme Court, which concluded proceedings recently but reserved its judgment. The court did not specify when it would announce a ruling.
हम इस केस को हैंडल कर रहे थे, लेकिन इस वक्त सैफन मलूक साहब है हमारे लॉयर, और उन्होंने और मुखालिफ पार्टी ने दोनों ने बड़े अच्छे तरीके से तकरीबन 2.5 पौने 3 घंटे इस केस को
सुनाया कोर्ट के सामने, और कोर्ट की इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि हम किसी किस्म का इस पर कमेंट ना करें। मीडिया को भी और हमें भी ऑर्डर किया गया है कि हम इस पर कमेंट ना करें। तो हम समझते हैं कि हमें कोर्ट की इस चीज़ को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हम इस पर कमेंट्स नहीं कर सकते कि कोर्ट क्या फैसला करती है। कोर्ट जो फैसला करेगी वो हम कबूल करेंगे।
Ever since the case touched the international prominence, international organizations have been mounting pressure on Pakistan government and have compelled judiciary to carry out a fair trial in the case. National Director at the Center for Legal Aid Assistance and Settlement, Joseph Francis, whose organization represents minorities including BB, said the legal team were satisfied with the appeals proceedings.
जी हम मुतमईन हैं। जो कुछ हमारे लॉयर्स हैं दोनों तरफ से आए, उन्होंने पूरी तरह अपना जोर लगाया और हमने साबित किया कि सारा झूठ है।
The ultra-religious Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan or TLP party, which makes punishing blasphemy its main campaign rallying cry, warned the court against any concession or softness for BB. In November, TLP staged a crippling blockade of the capital after a tweak to a religious oath, which it claims was tantamount to blasphemy. 7 people were killed and more than 200 wounded in clashes with the police and TLP supporters. Much of the Christian persecution in Pakistan comes from radical Islamic groups that flourish and expand under the favor of political parties, the army and the government. They have principally been targeted by Sunni Muslims, the majority ethnicity of the country, both in civil and military arena. It is not just the blasphemy laws minorities have to stand and suffer regularly, but a glaring prejudice in the society has also impacted the lawmaking in the country, resulting in utterly biased laws being framed against the minority.
In 1986, the death penalty was proposed for a person who was indulged in the use of derogatory remarks against Prophet Muhammad, spoken, written, directly or indirectly. Since then, it has been used as a tool by the influential fundamentalists, including army personnel, to implicate minorities. To know more about the prevailing situation, my colleague Ravi Khandelwal recently spoke to Noyal Malik, a member of Christian minority from Pakistan who is now living in Italy. Here are a few excerpts.
नोयल, अगर हम बात करें माइनॉरिटीज़ की पाकिस्तान के अंदर, तो क्या सिचुएशन है? क्योंकि माइनॉरिटीज़ बहुत कम परसेंटेज में है पाकिस्तान के अंदर।
तो जो हमारी मिनॉरिटीज़ हैं, स्पेशली जो क्रिश्चियंस हैं, वो इस कदर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन और परसिक्यूशन का शिकार हैं कि आखिरकार जो आपने शुरू में बात कही कि थोड़े हैं, एक्चुअली ये थोड़े नहीं हैं, थोड़े रह गए हैं वहाँ पर। ये मूव हो गए हैं दूसरे कंट्रीज़ में, इनको पाकिस्तान को छोड़ना पड़ा है। आप सोच सकते हैं कि एक शख्स जो एक मुल्क में पैदा हो और उसको उस मुल्क से प्यार होता है, ज़ाहिर सी बात है, और उसको किन वजूहात पर अपना मुल्क छोड़ना पड़ता है। या तो वो सेफ़ नहीं है, या उसके साथ कोई ऐसा हो रहा है जहाँ वो समझता है कि बस मैं जो मेरी ज़िंदगी जो है यहाँ ख़त्म हो जाएगी। कई डेथ्स हुई हैं इस तरह, और इन बातों को लेकर सिचुएशन जो है वो ऐसी है कि वहाँ रह नहीं सकता, वहाँ सिक्योर नहीं है। और पाकिस्तान को मिनॉरिटीज़ जो वो छोड़ कर जा रही है, और सबसे इसमें जो बड़ा रोल है, जो सिक्योरिटी नहीं मिल रही मिनॉरिटीज़ को, वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान का रोल है, क्योंकि वो इसको सीरियसली नहीं ले रहे।
जो फोर्स कन्वर्जन का जो मसला है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, जो माइनॉरिटीज़ का, वो क्यों है? मतलब पाकिस्तान क्यों चाहता है कि वो कन्वर्ट करके मुस्लिम्स बने, चाहे वो क्रिश्चियंस का मसला है, चाहे वो हिंदूज़ का है, या कोई दूसरी कम्युनिटी?
देखें, ये एक्चुअली पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट नहीं जो बात हो रही है, ये हो रही है वहाँ जो लोकल लोग हैं जिनकी मेंटालिटी ऐसी है, वो चाहते हैं कि रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते दूसरे रिलीजन की, मैं समझता हूँ। दूसरी बात ये है कि जब इंसान बचपन से एक चीज़ को सीखता है कि जिस कंट्री के अंदर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, जिस कंट्री के अंदर जो है दूसरी जो मिनॉरिटीज़ हैं उनकी कोई रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है, उनको बस आप जो है ना एनिमल समझें, तो उनको आप किसी भी तरीके से, ये जो मेंटालिटी है जो वहाँ पर लोग रहते हैं, वो उनको यूज़ करते हैं अपने मफाद के लिए। आज ब्लास्फेमी लॉ है, आप जैसे मिस यूज़ होता है, कोई चीज़ पसंद आ गई, किसी का घर पसंद आ गया, कोई लड़की पसंद आ गई, कोई और, अब उसको वो यूज़ करते हैं अपने बेनिफिट्स के लिए।
Moving on to India, where the government has been making sustained efforts to conserve its natural resources. It has launched an integrated conservation mission to accomplish the twin objectives of effective abatement of pollution, conservation and rejuvenation of the national river Ganga. The government has of late received a massive support from various organizations and people in attaining its endeavor. One such story is of Bachendri Pal, the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest, who is on a month-long expedition to clean and spread the message of cleanliness amongst the masses.
A large number of devotees take a dip into river Ganga every day to wash away their sins. And it remains significant to keep the holiest river in its purest form. The National Mission for Clean Ganga has been making several efforts to rejuvenate and conserve Ganga, as the river is also a lifeline to millions of people who live along its course and depend on it for their daily needs. Bachendri Pal, the first Indian woman to scale Mount Everest along with a 40-member team, is on a month-long rafting expedition Mission Gange to clean the river and spread awareness about waste management. Organized by the National Mission for Clean Ganga or NMCG along with Tata Steels, the expedition team will be rafting through the Ganges waters across 8 major cities of India during a month-long journey.
और ये चलेगा करीब 1500 किलोमीटर हम लोग राफ्टिंग करेंगे. इन बिटवीन 3-3 दिन हम लोग स्टॉप कर रहे हैं बड़े-बड़े सिटीज़ में, क्लीनिंग एंड ब्रिंगिंग अवेयरनेस अमंग यूथ, स्कूल बच्चे और सब लोगों में.
In an attempt to provide further vitality to the government's flagship program of Namami Gange, the expedition team will reach out to thousands of people, especially young men and women, in order to make them understand the importance of the mighty Ganga. They will be visiting multiple schools and institutions as part of the mission and to rope in more people and infuse energy into making the project a success. Her team is already extensively involved in cleaning and educating people around River Ganga.
अभी मैं जो देख रही हूँ तो शुरुआत है. This is our third day. And last 2 days we did some cleaning and the same time we did some awareness program, visited many schools. तो शुरुआत तो हमारी बहुत अच्छी हुई है. लोग जुड़ रहे हैं, आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे बहुत सारे संस्थाएं वो जुड़ी हैं मिशन गंगे के साथ. तो अच्छी शुरुआत है. यही आई एम वेरी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक कि आगे भी ये जर्नी ऐसी होगी और अवेयरनेस बढ़ेगा. तो शुरुआत तो कहीं से करनी पड़ेगी ना. रातों रात तो कोई चमत्कार नहीं होता है. ये अवेयरनेस आएगा, एक एक इंसान की सोच बदलेगी, ऐसे जुड़ते रहेंगे और पूरा देश में ये जागरूकता आएगी.
In a major boost to the government spirit, not just locals but tourists are also acknowledging that Ganga is now cleaner.
Yeah, here I find it clean, but I think it's a good thing that the government try to clean the Ganga.
Whether it's the river surface cleaning, biodiversity conservation, afforestation or public awareness, the sustained multi-pronged efforts by the government have yielded tangible results. Director General of the National Mission for Clean Ganga, Rajiv Ranjan, is quite confident of meeting his deadlines of rejuvenating the river.
The program has really gathered momentum, and out of sewerage projects, 28 projects are already complete. Total we have completed 64 projects. We are sure of completing all the projects in Uttarakhand and Jharkhand by March. Similarly in UP also large number of projects will get complete in 2019. Bihar and Bengal also has picked up. So all the projects are going on very fast. Almost all the Ghat projects will be complete by March 2019. So we are further trying to speed up, and then we really request state governments, all agencies to keep the same momentum alive.
Thousands of people are dependent on River Ganga for the array of their life-supporting activities, ranging from the daily household chores to irrigation to business. An imprudent usage of its water in the last few decades had rendered Ganga polluted and even toxic at places. However, with timely identification of the problem and corrective measures of restoring originality, the Government of India is successfully taking giant strides to make Ganga clean.
Moving on to Afghanistan. The security situation in the war-torn country has been deteriorating owing to growing insurgency and militancy. People of all ages, including those who are parliamentary candidates for the upcoming elections, are falling prey to Taliban attacks. Afghan rights activists, however, believe that this escalation in violence has direct links with Islamabad, which has for years been using terrorism as an instrument to further destabilize Afghanistan. They also believe that situation in Kabul cannot normalize until Kabul learns to deal with Pakistan and its satanic agendas independently. South Asia Focus has a report.
Policemen killed in a midnight shooting. Kids killed in certain suicide bombing. Journalists beheaded for doing their job. Civilians losing their life in firefights between the insurgents and the security forces. These headlines emerge almost every day out of war-torn Afghanistan. The situation in Afghanistan has deteriorated to an extent that is beyond belief. Every day people die and family members mourn deaths and live in fear that they might as well end up in coffins soon, because in the times of war, death is the only surety and peace the only grim ray of hope. Abdul Azim Siddiqui, a rights activist from Afghanistan, however, doubts if peace will ever be restored in his country. He is of the opinion that Kabul must grow to deal independently with Pakistan. Siddiqui blames Islamabad and its intelligence agency ISI for not only inflicting war in Kabul by providing militants with both training as well as ammunition, but he also accuses Pakistan of using the Taliban as a scapegoat for its sinister acts.
The situation in Afghanistan is getting worse and worse. The reason is very clear. The reason is some of the politics that is going with this secret agency of Pakistan. Actually, the Pakistan train the Taliban, they equip the Taliban, they help the Taliban, and they bring somehow the Taliban. And then, as you see in all of our cities, there are some explosions, suicide attacks, and lots of civilian casualties. This is what is the reality in Afghanistan.
Siddiqui refuses to believe that militant organizations like Taliban are capable of inflicting the damage they have been doing for years had Islamabad not allied with them and aided them in all the possible ways. According to Siddiqui, Islamabad's puppet Taliban cannot even take an independent call on whether they want to sit on a negotiation table with the Afghan government to establish peace in the region.
We in Afghanistan, with our analysis, we are saying that the Taliban are the puppet party, and they do not have their own authorization to decide in such peace, for example, peace conferences or like that. Mostly the ISI and the Secret Agency of Pakistan is behind the case, and they are actually giving the authority whether Taliban can decide with the peace issues can go forward or not.
As October 20, the election date approaches, attacks by militants have increased several folds. Till now, 6 parliamentary candidates have already been killed in separate suicide bombings. Few days back, in another deadly attack on the security forces, the Taliban killed 12 members of the Afghan security forces while severely injuring 10 others.
The Taliban have seized a number of districts across the country in recent years and regularly attack security forces. The latest assault comes just 2 weeks before Afghanistan holds parliamentary elections. Moving on. India and Nepal share centuries-old cultural, economical and people-to-people relation. Successive regimes have for years worked together to take the bilateral ties to newer heights. The current dispensations in both the countries are working extensively in the line of providing a further impetus to the established relationship. Trade and connectivity have been the focus of late. With a new broad gauge railway line soon to be inaugurated between the countries, the economic front of the relationship between the two is appearing to be stronger than ever. A report.
Blistering scenes were witnessed in Nepal's Janakpur when a freight train laden with 5,500 tons of ballast reached Janakpur from India's Jharkhand state. People in Nepal cheered and celebrated as the train reached Nepal from India after a long duration of 4 years. In fact, it was the first time when a complete locomotive with 53 goods wagon had reached Janakpur through the Janakpur-Jayanagar broad gauge railway. The journey took nearly 18 hours.
We had narrow gauge service from Jayanagar to Jayanagar to Janakpur. But due to the construction broad gauge, the old system is not going to work anymore. So at present, we are planning to have the wait lease agreement with the Indian company through Indian government, and will run the train on that basis.
The railway service between Janakpur-Jayanagar was suspended 4 years ago. The track was built nearly 80 years ago when India was still under British colonial rule to transport timbers from a forest in Nepal to India. Upon completion, the railway line between Jayanagar and Janakpur will make both passenger travelling as well as trade easier between two countries.
Train is the main backbone of the goods and passenger carriers. So it has the minimum tariff in these two fields. So it will be going to be in the very important to connect the rail to our country, because in the most of the industrial country has their own train. So if we are going for the internationalization and long-term development, we need the train, and it is the very much tested mode of transport to reduce the cost both in passengers case and in the freight case.
The broad gauge railway is in the final phase of completion, and the Department of Railways is planning to bring the railway into operation later this year. The railway project was hindered because of various existing problems, and hindrances upon the completion will re-establish the cross-border connectivity between Nepal and India.
There are three systems is needed to operate the trains properly. First is the management of stations, second is the management of train, and third is the management of signaling system. So for the two parts, like technical parts, the management of train by driver and all the staffs will come through the wait lease agreement, and the signaling staff will also come through the wait lease agreement, because this is a purely technical thing, it's a new system. And in the meantime, we will deploy our staff, and they will get trained, and it will, in the due course of time, our staff will take over all these things, and in the meantime also we will manage our own train, and all the systems will be operated smoothly within 2-3 years.
Likewise, the Raman Construction of Janakpur is constructing a 25-kilometer segment between Kapileshwar and Bijalpur of Mahottari. The freight had gone out of track in 2014, but efforts are on to revive it from next year.
Janakpur, believed to be the home of Hindu goddess Queen Sita, is a holy land as per Hindu religious scriptures. The Janakpur-Jayanagar route upon completion will also allow Hindus from India to visit the famous Janki temple in Janakpur, helping tourism flourish better between India and the Himalayan nation. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Take care and goodbye.